Hey guys, Dib the Awesome here to give you yet another Monster Legends event informational video. We're going to talk about the latest news, are they good, are they not good, events, what have you, review the content, how do you do said event, all that jazz. Today we're talking about the Mythology Maze event. I want you to just let the word sink into your heart. Mythology Maze. Mythology. Mythical creatures, hashtag mythical creatures. Things of source of things. Mythology. Bam. Fantasy. So this is a sequel to a past event. Sequel to the one where it had the Griffin, Brownies, and Kulkan, I believe. I think Shakati, too. That was a really, really popular event of its time, because essentially, I do believe that was one of the first times everyone could get every single monster if they tried. Like, there were 30% discounts, and everybody was able to essentially clear the entire maze. I do believe that was a thing. And this is the sequel to it. How good of a sequel it is, I believe it's really, really good. Really, really, really nice. However, it's not on a very, very, very convenient time period. It's only a 7-day maze event. So yeah, straight up the bat, before we begin too, I'm not really going to go over the epic monsters, because you should really just pick up the yellow keys, which is really nearby the first few moves. They can pick up the yellow key, which is used to unlock the gate for Oikawa. I really don't recommend picking up the epics, because they're really not good for your wallet. In terms of maze coins, I'm not saying like actual money. I'm just saying in terms of wise coin spending, they're not very good epics in my opinion, or at least ones that they're not as good as other modern ones, or just like the legendaries are more important than the epics. There's just not enough time to get them. Though Wolfington is considered one of the best epic supports, I'm not saying he's by all means terrible. I'm just saying you should prioritize on getting Vodyanoy or Oikawa, both of these monsters, Oikawa and Vodyanoy. If you started at the beginning of this event, you should be able to pick up both. I will say that's a doability. They also had a coin trailer too. Unlike the last event, they did have like some kind of coin giving. I don't know if they'll do a dungeon too, but they did have a coin trailer event. I don't know if they'll do another one, but they did something unlike the last maze. But even at that, it was still possible to get the first two legendaries, and those even without it. So this one I don't know too much about, because I think they increased the price on the second one, which is kind of why I'm not going to talk about the epics, or I recommend just picking up the yellow keys and just moving forward. So we're just going to talk about the first two legendaries after we get done explaining how to do this event, alright? Sound good? Sound good. I'll talk about the other legendaries too, but I don't believe you can get them. It's very impossible in terms of just earning it, in terms of just naturally earning it. You can't get the last two monsters guaranteed. It's just not possible. The event is way too short for anyone to be able to pick up Brownies and or Baba Yaga. It is just too short. So how you do these events? You collect coins. That's the main thing here. You collect coins through various activities, be it breeding and or hatching eggs. There's two different pools for that. You breed eggs and then you hatch them. So be sure to collect both pools of that. You should be getting 50 coins for both pools. If you didn't get 50 coins, let's say you just got like 0 coins or 1 coin after breeding and or hatching a monster, odds are you just have to log back in, breed a pandakin times pandakin, and keep trying until you get those total 50 coins. But essentially that's how you do that hatching thing. It's basically anything, like you do that when you just know you didn't get all your coins. You should be getting all your coins, and I do believe if you do your pools correctly, for each pool you should get like 225 coins. I think that was the amount each person got, or it was either 225 or 250. I can't remember too well on top of my head. I don't know if the coin rate changed at all. You get coins by collecting gold, you get coins by collecting food and feeding your monsters, so be sure to do both every time you do so. You get coins for doing PvP, and you get coins by chance if you spin the wheel after winning a PvP fight. So during this time, it's essential for you to be winning your PvP fights. So you get a chance to spin the wheel, and you'll get a chance to share. You should also, I highly recommend this too, you should always share. If you get the option to share the spin again, you should do that. One of the ways I do really good in these events is I usually do that. I usually share me winning the battle, but I don't actually share it. I actually, click. I have Discord downloaded, so I click share it to Discord. Then it puts the link like in the message section, like do it, and then you have the option to post it. You don't have to post it. You just click the arrow button, the back button on your phone. Not like the close tab or anything like that. You just click the back button. It'll take you to the game. It'll process it. It'll say shared, complete, and then you can spin the wheel. That's how I usually do it. And that's how I do really good in these events. Now, you're not guaranteed to get the coin when you spin again, but you just get another chance, and I think that's good. Sometimes, like, if you get really lucky, I think one time I got like 100 coins. I got like 100 coins in total because it landed twice on the coin thing on the spinning wheel after sharing it. So I got 50. I got 50 from naturally just spinning the wheel, and then I got another 50 from the extra spin. So it's really important that you do that. You do get 50 coins from the spin wheel. You get 30 coins in total after just. Well, I think it's like 2. Like usually, if you win 2 PvPs, you usually get the 30 coins from that. So that's a thing. But yeah, I think that's about said for getting coins. Oh, I guess one more thing too. It's really important that you also do any dungeons that have coins, or watch any trailers that give you coins. It's very essential you do that too. You might very well need it to get the the monsters you want. So let's talk about the contents. Again, we're just going to go over the legendaries. We're going to skip the epics because I really don't think you should focus on them in this event. I think the other, the legendaries, at least the 2 obtainable ones realistically, are worth more talking about. Vodyanoy, let's talk about this man right here. I'm always nervous about clicking the move button when I'm just trying to click on the informational button. But this is Vodyanoy. This is essentially, in a short words, prisoner done right. This is 100% a competitive prisoner. Prisoner, as you know, or if you don't know, is a really old support water legendary. It's a very old water legendary that not many people like due to the fact it's just horridly slow. It is extremely slow, like a champion. Like a slow champion. I don't know if it was in the 2000 range or the 3000, but it was just dirt slow. It had no immunity. It had like energized. It just doesn't have any good base stats or trait. But he did have support value. He was basically an AoE buffer, and he did an attack, and then he did an AoE, no AoE buff, what have you. Or sometimes, I don't think that was the case. I think he just did buffing. He might have one or 2 attacks that did damage, and then did an AoE buff. He might have had that. But Vodyanoy really sells it on that. So basically, what Vodyanoy does, again, he's like prisoner. He has the AoE life regen. He has, buffs relating to AoE effects, but he also has the better trait and better stats. In fact, he's stupid fast. This thing has a speed of 3,476. Extremely fast monster. He has access to a deny skill in the form of possession, which is really strong at the moment. Possessions are really good. If you ever use Galante, it's really not all too much of a problem if, possessing a single monster, especially if it's just the denier, because what you could do is possess the enemy denier, and they'll probably do an AoE deny, and thus you just win. I know, it's like you basically don't necessarily have to do an AoE deny. If you run Vodyanoy as your denier, you can just deny the enemy deny, and then deny The enemy will deny the team. That was a mumble of words. But you get my point. Possession is that's just how possession works. Sometimes you just need to possess one guy, and then that guy will just take care of his other friends. That's just how that works. But you can see my point in terms of value this thing has. It can compete with Hackster. It shares the same speed, 476. So if you wanted to do a Hackster fight, you can bring this thing, and let's say you just brought things that were immune to stun. If you brought like a mountain monster, I will say this is one of the better monsters to pair with a mountain monster. So if you have a 130 Agursus, or just an Agursus in general, that's a good monster to pair up with it because it can give the monster immune to possession, and he can heal it. And right now at the moment, Agursus is one of the tankiest monsters in the game, due to the fact relics exist, and heavy duty relic. I think it was heavy duty. I think it was heavy duty armor. I actually forgot the name of it here. It was heavy. Yeah, I was right. Heavy duty armor. There's another chest plate that I have, so I got the names mixed up. But this essentially makes him really, really tanky. This stacks up twice. So to be able to heal said monster too, while also giving him... It doesn't proc up the same... It's two different moves, but you get my point. He can give him the immunity he just needs. The only thing that could possibly stop Agursus in terms of a deny situation, in terms of one of the more troubling situations like possession. That's his only weakness. In all honesty, Agursus' only glaring weakness in his moveset and or just using him is the fact the enemy will bring a possessor to possess him. So having a Vodyanoy at your side is really, really good for him, because he can also heal Agursus if needed be, and that might even be a while too. So he's just a really good support for tank monsters, because he can heal, remove negative effects, and he can also again give him immune to possession, which is good. He's really good he's really good with mounted monsters, and he's really good just with tanks in general. And guess what? The other monster you can get is possibly a very, very tanky monster like Agursus. So you're pretty much getting a set here. You're pretty much getting a 2 out of 3 team set here. You're getting the support that can keep the tank alive, and you're getting a tank that also does really good stuff if he can be kept alive. So it's just really, really good. I run Vodyanoy with a 2 speeds and a life rune. Now you can run different builds. I did this build simply because I wanted Vodyanoy to last long, and I wanted him to be faster than some of the other enemy monsters, because again, with the single target possession skill, he really doesn't have to do anything to kill you. All he has to do is possess you. He's actually on a 2-turn cooldown. A lot of his skills are just on 2-turn cooldowns, so it's a really good cooldown support. And he really doesn't need to do much to beat you. all he has to do is outlast you, heal up, remove negative effects, and possess you, and he just essentially wins. It's just a really fun monster to use. Runes you can build with this man: full team speed. You can run him with full speed. Use that possession as your control. He does have an acceptable speed of 476. So you can use it for that if you wanted to. Team Life, you can run Team Life. Essentially, you can keep monsters alive with that life regen skill and increase the benefits from that by running Team Life runes. That's what Team Life genuinely does. It also enhances the shielding and or healing, because you get more base life. The more base life you have, the more the healing and shielding skills. So essentially, if you run Team Life with said monster, it does better. I'd recommend at least 2 Team Lives, and whatever you want for that last rune, be it Team Speed or Speed. Speed if you want to go before maybe the attacker and possess the attacker. I think that's a good option. And or a Team Speed, so you can make sure your denier goes maybe it's slightly more faster if you do that. I don't know. It depends on the situation, but you can pretty much build that last rune whatever. If you're going to go with that build. Overall, really fantastic support. I love using this thing. #FrogBottleWizard. Alright, now we come to a really, really cool monster here. We got Oikawa. Oikawa might not look like it, but he's actually probably one of the most tankiest monsters without a, artifact trait in the game. I would say, out of all the tanks in this game, this one might actually be the most bothersome in the sense, even though, like, Tankirion is honestly the best tank in the game because he can't be DOT'd. I'd say if there was the second most tankiest monster would probably be this thing. It's really, really, really annoying to deal with because he has a self skill that gives him immune to all 3 deny, and he can taunt the enemy, and he can rare very, very good tank relics in the form of a chest plate and a mask. Mask has one of the best healing, relics for tanks in the form of the healing mask. I know that's just a really bland name, like, oh, it's not a very fancy name. It just kind of just says what it does. But it's a really strong healing relic because at level 1, the base life it heals, like, I think it's like that procs when you hit below 50% life. So it's not too hard for a tank to have that because they have such a high base life to begin with. It heals 15,000 naturally. Like, just straight off the bat, it heals 15,000 naturally. It's a gold relic item, and it's just really dumb. At max rank, I do believe it healed around 30 to 35k. Really, really good healing. And the chest plate just increases survivability too. Because each time you get hit, again with that heavy duty armor, it procs twice, and for each hit you get like a 25, based on my level, I have it at 30, so I get like a 25k, armor plus armor per proc. So essentially 50k more life. 50k, protection. If you max that out, that's essentially a 60k shield. Armor is really good because you can't remove it naturally. So it just makes it really, really sustainable. It takes time to actually kill this thing if you didn't actually bring something that gives double damage. If the player really was just focusing on a sense of DOTing and or negate healing. But this is a really, really good tank. He also does damage. Another self-skill that he actually has quite a few self-skills. This other self-skill I really like is the fact he can remove debuffs plus heal him and give his next swing double damage. The next attack he does will do double damage. However, it only lasts for a turn. The double damage only lasts for a turn. I don't think that's a problem because it'll do its job. Next turn you'll do an attack. You're probably going to run the Rainbow Rune build with this man, and you're probably going to knock something out because the base skills is just right to do so. If you get double damage up and you do a basic skill, the either the 55 damage or the 65. I guess it depends on how good the scaling of that damage rune is, but if you do have an X rune on, odds are you'll kill something. You'll kill something that's not really running any life, any sustainability. Their main focus was to deny you without being able to move. The problem with that is the thing with Oikawa, he also has the harden trait. So that kind of combos with the fact that you might not deny him to begin with. And we talked about that self-buff earlier, where he is immune to essentially all 3 natural denies. So he's really hard to deny, and it's really hard for him not to get his turn in. Another thing that if you wanted to do too, if you're not too fond of that healing mask, he can also run the stamina restoration mask. So essentially, he can be even immune. He can even be immune to Thede shenanigans. He essentially can do that. If you don't feel the need to really give him a healing relic, you could give him the stamina relic, and basically he can get his turn in. And it is ridiculous. He's a really good defense monster in my opinion. In war, your main priority is just to make sure they get at least either no coins or as few coins as possible. So essentially just killing one monster could make a huge difference in winning a war. So that's why I really like Oikawa. That's why I've been kind of wanting to craft him for a while. I am really excited he is in said event. I'm going to do a guide on him soon. I wanted to do a guide on him fairly soon. I might even do it today if I'm in a good mood. I've been really busy lately, and that might cheer me up. You really want to talk about this guy. A lot of people really think Oikawa is kind of garbage. I really don't think so. I think he's really, really overlooked. and I think it's a really good tank. He's in the Undead and Evil Legions, really good books, so it's not too bad. Not too bad at all. Essentially, also, all of his damage skills, I think if you run, like, naturally, if you run all of his, like all 3 of his damage skills, he has 2 stuns, in terms of single target, and he has an AoE 50% chance to stun. So basically, you could have a build where you could essentially do it like 3 out of your 4 moves will do a stun. Something is going to be stunned for a turn. So basically, they might not even get to their double turn, essentially denying a denier from double turning you. So that's really good. That's really good. This is a bunch of good stuff. I also forgot to mention, I don't know if I ever mentioned it, but the remove negative effects and double damage buff that also heals you. They also get a 30% heal on that. So if you have X runes on, the scaling's just dumb. It's just dumb. It's just a really good monster. I recommend just running the Rainbow Rune build on Oikawa. You can use him either as your attacker slot or your extra guy slot. Have him bring in all those single target moves. If he does the taunt skill, I think he has one of the best taunts in the game because he really can't be denied or bothered if it's like a single target deny. You can't be possessed, what have you. I think it's the best taunt in the game. it really is because there's you just get nothing but you're defending yourself and you're also defending others at the same time. You're defending yourself from any deny that could happen upon you, and you're defending anyone else from single target damage, which is really good. But then again, that's single target damage, and that isn't necessarily the case for AoE damage. Perani's considered one of the best earth monsters in the game because he can mega stun. That's right, folks. This guy can naturally mega stun a single target, denying them for 2 turns. This is an advanced stun, so anything that's immune to stun is not immune to mega stun. So this thing can mega stun deny anything you want for 2 whole turns. This guy can put something in submission for 2 turns. Now, in all honesty, I haven't seen much of Brani's lately. I see him more so on the offense, and that's natural. He's better on the offense than the defense nowadays, because everyone's walking around with a Baba Yaga. So it's not ideal for him at the moment to be out and about on a defensive team. Though his deny is still terrifying. He has the AoE stun, he has a damage self-skill. He hits someone, and then he gets like a 50% shield, I do believe. He has single target dazing, just reduced damage. He's just a really good monster all around. The only problem with it is he is slow. He has 3,300 speed. I'd say based on nowadays meta, you can either run him team speed or the Rainbow Rune build. I don't recommend full speed. You can build him full speed and run him against things that are naturally lower leveled runed than the Branies you're using. If you're fighting something that has lower runes and you have the better runes on Branies, you can bring them to those fights. But overall, I'd say either team speed or Rainbow Rune. I'm build mine with Rainbow Rune. If I had the team speed, I might do that, but for the most part, I run a Rainbow Rune. I run the AoE stun, Mega Stun. The AoE stun and the single target Mega Stun, that's feel. And then I run the heavy damage single target daze, and I run the shield. That's what I run. Baba Yaga. Okay, this is a really good competitive monster, and it was one of the monsters I was talking about prior with Perani, because I said, Baba Yaga was one of his problems as of late, and it just so happens she's in this event too. Really good monster in several books. She's in Spirit, one of the more used spirit monsters, one of the more used female monsters, one of the more used undead monsters. Why is this a fact? Well, there's several facts. One, I think she's the only possessor in the Earth category. 2, she has a 3,498 speed. Ridiculously fast base speed stat. Really good denier. 3, she can actually do quite a bit of damage to Voltics. 4, she's just really good in general. AoE possession, that also does nightmares. AoE blind and removes positive effects. AoE damage reduction, and I forgot what else it did. I think it was negate healing. I think it did that. But you see, a lot of debuffs while also doing something annoying. She's really, really, really good, and she's the last monster, and she is impossible to get along with brownies. Like, the pricing scaling on these two monsters is just nuts. This event is more expensive than the last one. I don't know if people were able to get all three, like, you know, just like the Tempest, Living Forest, and Frostbite. I imagine they got the, you know, the first two monsters, obviously, but I don't think everyone got Frostbite, unless they did like the 30%. But again, this is just impossible. The last two monsters are impossible. We're just really talking about them just to explain their competitive value. But this is a really good competitive monster. It is a respectable last place monster for this event. The last monster you could possibly get for this event. It's very respectable, but very unattainable. You would have to spend money on the coins to even get this monster, and honestly, you really shouldn't do it. Mazes in general, these are the only events that people really just can earn monsters. They don't have to spend a single dime on them in terms of gems and or, you know, you don't have to buy. I'm just saying you just don't have to buy it. It's just earnable stuff, and it's good earnable stuff right here. That's it for this video. I'm Dib the Awesome. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments section below. And that's it. I'm Dib the Awesome. I'll catch you guys later.